my name is Jeannie Kim, and I am the Associate Vice Chancellor for Grants and Economic Development at Riverside Community College District. We did not have a really good understanding of the various types of economic development activities that were currently under way, and as a result, what we found was that there were a lot of activities that were taking place, but they were not necessarily aligned, and people were not necessarily understanding who was doing what, where, and how. And as a result of that, what we determined was we needed a better understanding of the individuals and the organizations that were engaged in the various different activities, and to align that with some of the other studies that had already taken place, identifying certain kinds of industries, certain kinds of activities that we should possibly be undertaking for economic development, but had not really done so in any real depth. One, it confirmed some assumptions that we had, that the area was very large, that there is a lot of activity. However, people are not connected, and so what we assumed was actually occurring was definitely happening. But the other component was that we had some ideas about whether or not there was some regionality that was taking place that was preventing people from actually working together. Meaning there had been history and stories saying that the two counties could actually not work together for a variety of different reasons, because we had different agendas, because we had different priorities, whatever the case might be. But one of the key findings was that regionality really didn't exist. People were not separating based on the two counties, and so we're trying to figure out what is that actual divide, because there was a divide in the network analysis. However, it wasn't because of the regions. The other key finding that was validated is that people are definitely looking up in terms of who is supposed to be doing what action, meaning that there is a great amount of activity that is taking place in the region, and individuals are working on economic and workforce development. However, they don't necessarily seem to feel like they have authority as well as the influence and power to be able to actually make good on the work that they're doing. I think that for us, the next steps are really to be able to take those insights and start to build some structures that will allow for the individuals that are working in these economic and workforce development activities to not just have the responsibility of doing the work, but to be truly connected to the people that are going to help them to gain additional power and influence so that they can sustain those activities for longer periods of time. I think that the goal here is to establish the system, so really look at systemic changes that will allow us to be able to move this agenda forward in a timely fashion and get some early wins and get people excited about the work, because people think that it's challenging, and for good reason. It's great. This was definitely one of those projects where we had to do a lot of back and forth because doing a regional network ecosystem, it really was a trial and error to a large degree. You know, I felt like you and I worked really well together in terms of just being able to figure out how to make this work, sure that we had correct parameters, and just testing some of the assumptions that we had all the way through. So it was a very collaborative process, and that was very much appreciated. People are really, really excited because it's the first time anything like this has ever been done, and people actually see the network, and they see the people, and they see the kinds of things that they can start attaching to, and they're excited because they can actually see it's tangible. The network is tangible. Before, it was just theoretical. To use this as baseline and then be able to continue to do this again next year, and maybe even do a smaller project just again with the business community. this work and what we were able to gain from Innovisor really is providing true building blocks for what we can do with the limited resources that we have. Because that's really one of the keys, is that we have limited time and limited resources.